Hey folks, Paul Brown with Wasson Watch Company here, and I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about the 250th anniversary special edition Wasson watches. These come in 38 millimeters. They come in both a quartz version and an automatic version. That's what I have before you today, automatic and quartz. The quartz is already running. As you can see here, it has a battery in it. It doesn't need to be wound. The automatic version is run by the movement of your wrist. So as your body moves around while you're wearing it, it winds it. And if I do this for a minute, it's going to turn a rotor, which is eventually going to get that second hand moving. You can see that second hand moving now. I'm going to show you how to wind it, how to set the time, date, all that stuff as well. But this gives you an idea how it works. So we're going to start with the automatic here. And we need to update our instructions for these because the 250th anniversary edition uses a push crown rather than a screw down crown. So position 1 on the push crown watch of the automatic watches is actually with the crown closed. With the screw down crowns in our other models, position 1 is after you unscrew it and let it pop out once. So I can actually wind this watch from this position. Obviously it is wound by your movement when you're wearing it throughout the day, but when you're first picking up this automatic watch, if you haven't worn it before, or if you're wearing it for the first time in a couple days and it's not already running, you can get it to a full charge. I usually like to give it around 35-36 turns to get it to that full charge. Again, this is position 1. You always want to keep your crown closed when you're wearing the watch, so pay special attention to that. Now, given that this is a push-pull crown rather than a screw-down crown, to take it out, I just move it one click, and that's the position in which you can change the date. All right, I pull it one more click, and that's the position in which you can change the time. Now, in order to know exactly what time it is, so this says, this is 10:50. I don't know if that's AM or PM yet because it hasn't advanced past the 12. When it advances past the 12, I'll be able to know is that 10:50 AM or PM, or were we in AM or PM by whether or not the date window advances. So as I advance it forward, you see that the date does not advance. That means that we were in the AM, and so now I'm in the PM. Now if I go ahead and advance it all the way around, past the 12 again, there you saw the date window advance. So that means now we are in the AM. So if I'm setting the time, if we say it's, 8 AM for instance, I can set it there, I push it all the way back in, and now it's running. Now I always want to set the time first because then I can figure out if we're AM and PM, and that gets the date to where we want to be in terms of whether it's going to advance at noon or at midnight. We want it to advance at midnight, and so then I can change the date to the appropriate date after I've set the time. Again, after I'm done, I push the crown in. So that's how we wind and set the date and time on the automatic watch. On the quartz watch, we don't need to wind it, right? We don't, so we don't have as much functionality here. I can turn the crown here, doesn't really do anything. If I pull out the crown once to one click, I can advance the date. Same as on the automatic, 2 clicks and I can advance the time. Same as on the automatic, I can turn it until I get past the point of the 12 to figure out what I'm doing there. But again, this is a little different in that we don't need to wind it here, but otherwise the controls are virtually the same. All right, now I'm going to talk to you about your straps. We have a couple different strap options. So your watch should come with both this green nylon strap and a red, white, and blue NATO strap. And we have some other different color NATO straps for sale on our website, as well as this stainless steel mesh band that you can use. So first, I'm going to show you how to install the green strap here. So we're going to do that on our quartz. It's pretty simple. We put the short end on top and the long end on bottom. All right, I'm going to turn everything over. And we use these quick release spring bars on this 250th anniversary edition watch, which makes it really easy to install these. So you just put one end of the spring bar into one lug hole there, and then I compress the spring bar just like that and get it inside the lug and just move it around until it catches up. See, I missed there. It's easy to do. If that happens, just try again. You'll get it eventually. Just move it around. There, you heard that click into place. I can do the same thing on the other end here. So I put that spring bar on one end on one lug hole. I compress this. We've got a little handle there, a lever if you will. Pull that in. You know, you want to make sure that this strap has slid down to the end there so the strap isn't getting in the way. So compress that in, put that in there. There, that was really easy to get there. All right, so this is the standard green nylon strap the watch comes with. In order to remove that, I just compress this lever and pull it out. Compress the lever and pull it out. Okay, I'm gonna talk in a minute about how to get these spring bars out of this if you want to use those for your NATO strap. First, I'm going to talk really quickly about this mesh strap. So same thing, it's got these quick release spring bars, so very easy to install. Put one in there. And one there, get it to click into place. It's clicked. Now to open this, all I do is open this first clasp here and this next clasp there, and then this comes off entirely. Okay, now let's say I want to adjust the tightness on this. I can take something simple. I like to carry a Swiss Army knife with a little screwdriver on there, flat head, and all you do is gingerly here, I'm going to show you up close. You have see this little arrow here, and there's a little like slot you can almost see there underneath there. You can take your flathead or whatever you want to use and you pry underneath that, and that opens it so it is loosened up, and now you can slide this up and down to tighten or loosen your watch. And then when you get it to the desired level of tightness, you close this part that we pried open. You don't need anything special to close it. You can just use your thumb and it's closed. And then to close the watch, this has a hook right here, double hook. You hook on over the bar, you close this, and you close this, and you're in business. Okay, for putting the mesh strap on and taking it off, it's easier to do with it in the open position. So I'm going to do that now. I can release this spring bar, and I can release this spring bar. Boom, we're in business. Now we're going to talk about removing the quick release spring bars from the nylon strap so you can use them for the NATO strap. This is actually pretty easy to do. All you do is pull to the back there. So I've pulled the spring bar all the way as far as I can go there. Then I can sort of angle this out. And if it's not working, I can take something small, a pin or something. I carry a handcuff key on here and compress that in. but usually don't even need to do that. It takes a little bit of finesse, but you work this out of that hole there, and then you can actually use the handle on this to pull this out. You see how I've got that there pulled out, and boom. I remove one, do the exact same thing here. All right, so I get it pulled to that edge. Just work on getting this bent a little bit. You can use a spring bar tool like this. The prongs might give you trouble, but you can use like any kind of pin. All right, so there you see I got this out right there, and I work on angling it out this way. And got it out. Okay, so when you're doing this on camera, it feels like it takes just about forever, but it's really not that long. So with the quick release spring bars, I don't need a tool to put them on here. I just put one end in, get that in place, compress the lever, just like when it's on the strap, get it to click. That's one. Do the same with the other one. Get it to click. Okay, that is in place. This is what's called a NATO strap. We sell NATO straps on our website for the 250th anniversary edition watch. Of course, the 250th also comes with this red, white, and blue NATO strap. We also sell Zulu straps for our other watches. It's a little thicker version of this. The way this works, it provides a redundancy that protects your watch, makes it less likely to fall off. If one of the spring bar falls, the other spring bar is still holding on because this threads between both spring bars, just like this. So again, the shorter end is going to be on top and the longer end is going to be on bottom if you're trying to figure out how to do this. So that means we thread in from the top with this long end. We thread right through there. Okay, and I pull it basically as far as it'll go, and then I thread this through the bottom end there. Okay, and then this shorter end comes up here and I thread this through that loop, and now I have installed the NATO strap. Okay, if I want to go with the green strap again, I'll show you how to get this off. So we just pull this off, pull this off, and we pull this back through, removing our quick release spring bars is very easy. Get those done. Love that American flag on the back there. 250th anniversary of the USA Special Edition Field Watch with 2nd Chronicles 7:14 on there. Okay, so just like we took them out, that's how we put them back in. So they go back through. Right here, you may need to wiggle it a little to get it to go in straight. All right, once it's all the way in, we bend this back up, and we can move this to the side so that it fits. While I'm doing this last one, I will say we do have some regular non-quick release spring bars that I can send to folks if you need them. I like being able to, use the same piece for the same function. I know it takes a little bit of finesse to get it done, but it works well, and so I'd encourage you to try that. But again, if you need anything else, whether it's related to spring bars or anything at all, we really want to make sure that you have a good experience, that you enjoy your Wasson watch for years and years. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I know this was a long video. I kind of did everything in one, but you'll have all the information you need to successfully operate your 250th anniversary Wasson watches. Last reminder here, keep the crown closed on your watch. It is 100 meters water resistant with the crown closed. It is 0 meters water resistant with the crown open. The quartz watches, again, they use a battery. That battery will need to be replaced every 2 or 3 years, probably, maybe 4 or something like that, but typically 2 or 3. The automatic watch works by winding. So it is automatically wound when you wear it. When you do not wear it, after a day or so of not wearing, it's going to stop going. And so if you like, hey, why isn't it going? Well, it's because you stopped wearing it. So there's a couple things you can do about that. If you don't want to wear it all the time, you can just reset it whenever you wear it. If you go a couple days without wearing it or more, and wind it at that time when you first put it on. Some people buy something called an automatic watch winder. It's like a little battery powered machine that you put it on that turns automatically over time to keep it wound. I don't use any of those personally. I just reset and wind my watches when I wear them if I'm switching from one watch to the other. But just so you know, you have some options. All right, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your Wasson watch.